Hello, I am Bruce Goldstein. I am president of Farmworker Justice. Welcome to the 2020 Farmworker Justice National Awards. Each Tuesday during Latino Hispanic Heritage Month, we will pay tribute to an individual who has worked tirelessly to advance the agenda to address farm workers and immigrants in America. We will be honoring this year's awardees through a series of 30-minute presentations recorded via Zoom and released on the Farmworker Justice website and our social media handles. Please log on to the Farmworker Justice website for a complete list of awardees and presenters at www.farmworkerjustice.org. Before we begin, I'd like to tell you a little bit about Farmworker Justice and the impact we achieve each year. We were founded in 1981. Farmworker Justice is a not-for-profit organization headquartered in Washington, D.C. We have staff in Northern and Southern California. Our organization has a track record of working with local organizations throughout the United States to help empower farm workers. We seek to empower them to improve their working conditions and wages, immigration status, health, occupational safety, and access to justice. We provide farm workers and their organizations with several kinds of services: policy analysis, advocacy, litigation, capacity building, media outreach, and corporate social responsibility initiatives to reform the food supply chain. The COVID-19 pandemic and the wildfires have increased problems farm workers already faced, and Farmworker Justice is helping them respond to these emergencies. Our awards presentations and other events provide us with an opportunity to raise the critical financial resources that we need to continue this valuable work. We hope you will become a supporter if you're not already. We would like to extend our gratitude to the individuals and organizations for their support for this year's awards series, including the California Community Foundation, United Nurses Associations of California, Union of Healthcare Professionals, and AARP, and Good Farms. Now, let's begin. Today, we pay tribute to George Rodriguez with the Social Justice in the Arts Award. George Rodriguez, welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
The career of Los Angeles photographer George Rodriguez documents a visual history that spans over 45 years. Growing up in Los Angeles and studying photography in school led him to discover a passion for portraiture and photojournalism. It allowed him to experience some of the most tumultuous episodes in Los Angeles' history, including Sunset Strip riots of the 1960s and the Chicano movement. George Rodriguez chronicled the development and unprecedented successes of the farmworker movement starting in the 1960s. He published iconic photographs of Cesar Chavez, Dolores Huerta, and other founders and leaders of the United Farm Workers, and of the farm workers themselves during their strikes and other actions for fair treatment in the fields. There's a second side to George's career, that of the energy and excitement of the television, recording, and motion picture industries. Beginning in the 1960s, he photographed such stars as Marilyn Monroe, Frank Sinatra, Elvis Presley, Cary Grant, Natalie Wood, and Lucille Ball. He frequented places like Hollywood's Whiskey A Go-Go amid the music of the 1960s and 70s, and captured images of such artists as Jim Morrison, Frank Zappa, Michael Jackson, and Jimi Hendrix. George also photographed rap and hip-hop music artists in the 1980s. While he developed a successful business in photojournalism, he never wavered in his quest to support social justice movements. A book of his work was recently published, which is the first retrospective of his life and career. The book, Double Vision, was assembled in conjunction with scholar and author Josh Kuhn. It is an invaluable addition to the way we understand identity, popular culture, and civil rights in American life. George, your photography of the farmworker movement is sobering, beautiful, and transformative. Your photos of farm workers have served as inspiration for advocacy on behalf of those whose labor helps to feed America. So we welcome you again, and I'm going to ask you a few questions before we have a special presentation. So first, George, how did you first become involved with the farm worker movement?
Well, the LA Times used to have a supplement called West, and they seemed to put me in the Chicano Mexican-American bag that I did all the assignments that were related to Latino. So that's how I first became aware that I was going to Delano, which is great because, you know, you hear of people that are out there and like Cesar Chavez, and that's where you want to be. And that's the thing about photography, is that it takes you exactly where you want to be sometimes. I mean, you know, to be so close to a movement and an individual, I wouldn't do that without my profession, without being assigned to go there. And it's like an introduction to have a reason to be there. One thing that's very topical is that the first moment I met Cesar Chavez is that he said that it was, he was surprised to hear that somebody named Rodriguez was coming from the LA Times. And I guess it was. I never saw it that way, but I mean, I wasn't on the staff anyway. I was just a freelancer. So that's why I went there, and it's, you know, one of the best things that ever happened.
That's quite fortuitous. Well, you obviously seized on the opportunity and stayed with it for quite a while. And over your years of experience documenting the Chicano movement, farm worker movement, civil rights movements, what do you think the impact has been of photography on social movements and during social movements like the farm worker movement?
Well, you know, yeah, I can appreciate, you know, you're asking that question. As a photojournalist, you know, you're on the forefront of everything that's going on. You're there before people are fully aware of a movement or whatever you're photographing. So you do the best you can. It's like when I had the privilege of being in the presence of Cesar Chavez, that, you know, you do the best you can because you want people to understand and see what's going on. And that's, you know, whether it's civil rights or entertainment, it's all the same. You want to tell through your photographs, you know, what people are not there to see for themselves. So that's why you do the best you can. And like I say, that's a big perk about being a photographer, photojournalist, that you're there, you know, whether it's the Oscars or a prize fight in Las Vegas. Very fortunate.
Well, you know, many of your photos just create kind of a visceral reaction, so that you just feel the impact of that social movement more than you would if you were just kind of reading it, and often more than seeing it on television. So I do think it's had a very, very powerful impact, and we're fortunate that somebody like you had that opportunity and seized it, because other people, you know, can't portray the movements and the people the way you have. So, which leads me to my, you know, last question. You know, lots of us, I love photography and play around with it. Lots of us can easily snap a photo of people or the environment, but you know, when taking photos of people, it's more difficult than that. If a great photo says something about that person, to say something about that person, you usually have to do more than just sort of see them briefly and just snap the photo. So I was wondering if you could tell us just how did you arrange, you know, with so many people who are so famous and prominent, to you know, to get their photos and be able to show their personalities and their minds.
Well, first of all, after you've been around for a while, you get assignments, and that's why I'm there to begin with. because I've been assigned to go there. When I had the idea to do a book, originally it was meant to be just the Mexican-American experience. And at that time, you're just there on your own. Then you can, you just kind of, you shoot everybody. But I don't know, like I say, when you're aware of a situation and you're there, you do the best that you can to cover it, and for other people that are not there. I just feel very fortunate, and for you to describe, that situation, I just felt I was trying to make a living. I never realized that I was actually doing anything until I did the book that I did, which came out a couple of years ago. And since then, I realized that, well, yeah, I was busy. I was out there doing stuff, but you're really not aware of it. You just do the best you can. Like I say, I had my idols, and I used to study Life magazine because that's what I wanted to do. When I saw the Black movement and the Chicano movement began, I wanted to do the same thing. So that's why I assume. But the Chicano movement, it's because I am Chicano myself, and that's why I'm there, partially as a photographer, yeah. But if I hadn't been taking pictures, I'd been in the march, So it's like that.
I'm sure. Well, thank you, George. I appreciate your answers and your modesty as well. So we have some help from Nicholas Gonzalez to help present the award. He's a familiar face to Latino social justice causes, and especially in the area that brings light to the farm workers' fight for safety and COVID-19 help. He's the national spokesperson for Masks for Farm Workers, which has helped Justice for Migrant Women distribute over 1 million masks to farm workers and migrant communities across America. He's a member of the Farmworker Justice National Advisory Council, and he's quite well known for portraying Dr. Neil Melendez on the ABC TV series, The Good Doctor. So now let's hear a short video from Nicholas Gonzalez.
Thank you, Bruce. George was one of the first photographers to ever take my photo on a red carpet. And if I saw that sweet smile and those twinkling eyes at an event, I knew I was at the right place. At some of those early events, George, you were the only person I knew, and you would hang out with me between shots, and for that I'm grateful. I'm by no means the most famous of the subjects that have been in front of your camera, but I couldn't be more honored to be the one here presenting you with this award today. Social justice art and arts for social justice encompasses a wide range of visual and performing art that aim to raise critical consciousness, build community, and motivate individuals to promote social change. Art has been used as a means to record history, shape culture, cultivate imagination, and harness individual and social transformation. George, your work as a photographer has served as a moral compass on the reality of what is going on in our world. On behalf of farm workers and immigrants across America and Farmworker Justice, I am honored to recognize you with the Social Justice in the Arts Award. We love you, George. Congratulations.
George.
Yeah, no, that's incredible. Nick's a great guy. Yeah, I don't know what to say. Well, obviously I accept this award, and it's very special to me because of where it comes from. Anything to do with farm workers and an organization, I feel very, very special, and I'm very grateful because this is like the real deal. I appreciate it very much.
You're welcome. It's well deserved, and it's an honor for us to be speaking with you. Could you say a couple of words about the photographs behind you?
Well, the one of Linda Ronstadt, obviously she's accepting a Grammy for Canciones de mi Padre. And the one of the grapes, I don't know how well you can see that was in 1969 in Delano. during the height of the big grape strike. You know, the only thing I can say about this is that I was out there, you know, it has to do with farm workers, that I was there and it's like over 100 degrees and I'm just taking photographs and I'm exhausted. And to see the farm workers, I mean, they look like mummies. They're dressed to where you can't even see them. And they were like the original people wearing masks. They always wear bandanas on their faces when they're out in the field. And I think that has to do with the dust and probably whatever it is they kill the bugs with. And so what else? Oh, this one is, I don't know how I can see that. That's Dolores Huerta and Jesse Jackson, and that's like during the last fast that Caesar did. I think about a week after that photograph, he discontinued the fast because it was getting life-threatening, and so he had to stop. I don't know, the other one of Caesar back there, that's taken in 1969 when I went there in August. And other than the poster things I've had forever.
Well, thank you. They're great photographs. And the one that's right behind you, way behind you, I have a copy of that signed by you. It has a cherished place on my office wall.
One of Caesar?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I you know, that it's one of my favorite photographs, obviously. They tell me that's the iconic photograph of Cesar Chavez. And like I say, you had that special time, although he was very busy. When I shot that, that only lasted, you know, about a minute because then he had to get back to his people to work. But I saw the lighting in that particular room, and Dolores told me that that place used to be a gas station. I never knew that. It's in 40 acres in Delano. But anyway, like I say, I know that sometimes you have to impose on people because, you know, you feel it's important and it doesn't take that long, so.
Yeah, well, it worked out. Well, thank you. Thank you, George. This concludes this awards episode. Those of you watching us, please join us again. And remember that each Tuesday during Hispanic Latino Heritage Month, we'll pay tribute to an amazing individual who has worked tirelessly to advance the farmworker agenda. We will be honoring this year's awardees through a series of 30-minute presentations recorded via Zoom and released on the Farmworker Justice website, Facebook, and our other social media handles. In closing, we ask for your financial support. Please contribute to Farmworker Justice. In the caption or description of this post, you'll see ways that you can help us in furthering our mission, helping to create a better life for America's farm workers. Please click on any of those links. And we thank you for your support. And we have a wealth of information about farm workers and the solutions that we work on with farm worker organizations. So please visit us at www.farmworkerjustice.org. Thank you for joining us, and please stay safe.